The alchemist showed him that, yes, you can turn lead into gold, but really it's about the internal transformation. Like you are the alchemist. The alchemical moment is within you. Hey, loves.
Eh? We tried something new today. We're multitasking.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
fun.
yeah, it is.
Follow the joy. Follow what feels good. This
Exactly.
feels good right now.
It
We're
does.
live on TikTok and we're recording here.
So, um, I'm excited because we've been talking about some things. You've been reading a book. I've been reading a book. And there was something like this big aha moment you had this morning, I think. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, wait, save it. Save it for when we record.
Yeah.
So, um, tell us about what you're reading and how it's been speaking to you in your journey.
hmm So I have read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And it's a very easy book to read. It's very intriguing. It kept my attention the whole time. So it's about this shepherd. His name is Santiago. And he has this reoccurring dream. And he is on a journey to find this treasure. And while on this journey, he learns so much about, I'll say, universal law. He learns about himself. He learns like the strength and the power that he has. He learns that, anything that comes his way, he can take care of it. He can handle it. He has the strength within him to do that. He learns about his internal magic and his connection with the earth and nature. Even when things happen that are terrible to him, it is a part of him finding this treasure.
Yeah.
And the part that, so this is going to be a spoiler right here. I will say this is the spoiler. So towards the end of the book, he gets beaten up by this group of guys. And he's already made it to the pyramids. He's digging, digging, digging. And the guy is like punching him and beating him up. And then he's like, I'm looking for a treasure. I'm looking for a treasure. Because he's been holding it in him because he doesn't want to tell anybody what he's looking for because he's afraid that they're going to try to take it from him, which, I mean, history has served this belief. When he finally says this to this guy that's beating him up, he was like, the guy was like, "Oh, I've had this recurring dream too, and the treasure is at the roots of the sycamore tree." And he basically was saying, "I don't believe in omens, or I don't. It's just whatever." But Santiago starts laughing because this is exactly where his journey started. He was
Mm.
laying underneath the sycamore tree when he had this reoccurring dream. And so he took this journey, this long journey,
Mhm.
which took him right back to the beginning.
Mm.
And so I just found that so beautiful, a little bit frustrating. And and it's just like the journey is really what the magic is. And yes, he was on another spoiler alert. He met the alchemist, and the alchemist showed him that, yes, you can turn lead into gold, but really it's about the internal transformation. Like you are the alchemist. The alchemical moment is within you, how you can transform as a person based off of different events and experiences that you have and how you navigate those experiences because he definitely transformed this to something different than where he started. Even though he came back to the sycamore tree to get his treasure, he was a different person
Yeah.
once he was reunited with the sycamore tree. And it's like bringing back up to me right now because that's like a cyclical journey, right? And how we can go through things and we can feel like, didn't I get over this? Like, I thought I was done with this. I already worked through this. And now I'm here again. But are you there again as the same person as you were before? No. You and I, we talk about all the time how we're on this cyclical spiral journey and it's about spiraling up.
Mm.
Um, and so I just think that it was a really good book to read.
It's a beautiful allegory for life. Like, as you were just saying, that a lot of times we go on this journey to achieve something or acquire something. And I think it's also really interesting. Now, I haven't read it, but you've been sharing your insights with me. And I think it's really interesting that you just said under the sycamore tree is where he always was, right? And the treasure, you could see that as you were the treasure. He is the treasure. And life is the treasure, right? And sometimes we go out looking for other things in other places only to recognize it was always us. It was
Mhm.
always something within us. And our soul was calling us on a journey to do something so that we could release the parts of us that weren't us
Yeah.
and find and collect all of the parts of us that were
Mhm.
scattered. I talk about when I go on vacation, I really like to think that wherever I'm going, whatever part of the world I'm called into, I'm there to collect a part of me. That soil is calling me for a lesson to receive there. And I think when we're intentional about our journeys like that, yeah, we get to look at the places that we've been and the things that we've been through in a light that says, "Oh, I'm becoming," or not even becoming, I'm remembering
Yeah.
who I am. So,
So beautiful.
so your big aha was like, he was already there? Is that what? Yeah. That's
Well, I think it's, like, multi-layered.
mm,
Yes, he was already there, but it was really about the transformation that was happening within him. Like, if he hadn't had this dream, they call it a personal legend in the book. If he didn't have this personal legend, if he didn't feel like he had this purpose, it
mm,
wouldn't have taken him on this journey. And, you can even though he got the treasure at the end, it I felt like there was really one big moment in there that's the treasure. Like, that's when you recognize who you really were. Even in before reading the book, I was like, we could be done right now because you found the treasure." The other, like, aha for me is that a lot of the times I can hear, a nudge from spirit to do something, and I can feel like, okay, I'm doing the thing that spirit told me to do, but I'm hitting up against all of these obstacles. Like now I'm feeling like, spirit, I don't think that you told me to do this because this shouldn't be happening. It should be smooth sailing, and it's not. And I can think of the times where I just gave up or I pivoted, and I can see now, like, how even that is a part of the journey too. But, like, him having those moments, those obstacles where people were stealing from him or beating him up
mm.
led him to the treasure. He got specific information that he needed to get there. And I just was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
okay."
Ooh, well, you're touching on something right now that feels like important for even like this moment in time. And I thought I was going to read something from the book that I'm reading, a certain part, but it just kind of brought up something. So what you were just sharing was when we get a nudge from spirit or we feel like we're supposed to do something, we have this purpose that a lot of times we think it should just be easy, right? Like if this is what I'm supposed to do, why would you make it difficult? Why would you make it so hard? And I know I've had that feeling and challenge as I go about my sacred work. I think one of the things that we don't value so much, we don't value as much as we should, is the resistance. The resistance is what helps us grow stronger. And one of the things that is resistance that we don't often see as something calling us to practice something, exercise something, is conflict. I'm going to try to find this chapter in the book that I am currently reading, which is The Spirit of Intimacy by
Ooh.
Some. And oh, yes, here it is, page 110. I highly recommend this book. It's indigenous wisdom to help us live our lives in a way that is closer to nature, that is closer to the way that I feel spirit intended it to be. But here we go. All right. Conflict grows out of challenges that are presented by spirit. It is a gift meant to help us move forward. It is through conflict that we gain knowledge of ourselves and learn new situations for using our own gifts. Conflict is a wake up call sent by spirit to remind us of the purpose we are here to fulfill. In an indigenous context, it is seen as a blessing. It should not be nurtured, it should be listened to, and proper steps should be taken to address the spirit behind the conflict. So, again, right? Yeah, yes. So that brings up a whole lot.
Yes.
Because I can see your wheels turning.
I'm gonna let you can.
Okay. Okay. So if we think about the resistance that we get in life in us walking out our purpose, and we can see that as a blessing, that's sometimes even a conflict within ourselves, like a conflict between what our spirit is calling us to do and what our physical body feels like doing or is motivated in doing or maybe isn't motivated in doing. We can also see conflict between people, between groups of people, as something that spirit is ordaining to help both groups of people grow. It's interesting because we, in our relationship and our friendship, we have gone through practices of rupture and repair with intentionality. So it's interesting that we intuitively have known this, that
Mhm,
as we go through and not like picking creating conflict, but actually leaning into the spirit, the gift that is conflict that comes up is going to come up between people.
mhm,
And we have a process in which we are honoring one another and working through it, that we actually strengthen the bond, that we strengthen community.
mhm,
I think about how there's a lot of conflict happening right now.
mhm.
And are we missing the gift for us to grow and the gift that so I'm hesitating right now because it is a gift for us to grow, but we can't force anyone else's growth, right?
Right.
And so it's always just about us growing and expanding and receiving the gift and not necessarily having to have it reciprocated in
Mhm,
order to see that as a gift. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. It's like, how can I use this time to grow in my gifts of compassion, of kindness, of care, in my gifts of community? Like, how do I want to show up in community? What do I want to be to other people, no matter who they are?
mhm.
How can I make sure that this isn't just an experience that I'm having? This is an experience that is expanding my being and my soul.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Hooch. What's this? Ooh, chale, chale,
Chile.
chale. So, okay, I'm thinking about how in the book it said that the conflict
Mhm,
is there's a spirit behind the conflict.
mhm,
And when I hear that language, it immediately shifts my perspective.
mhm,
Instead of thinking of like this conflict as a thing or um let me just
mhm,
talk it out. I see it like, oh, we're in relationship. This is a relationship. When I think of something that has a spirit, we're in relationship with one another.
mhm,
And now that makes me interact with it much differently than if I think of something that's just a thing. if that makes any sense, that doesn't have intelligent consciousness behind it, which I know that everything is intelligent. I know that everything has the spirit of God in it. That's how I choose to see the world. But I also find myself, I can see ways in how I lose sight of that.
Yeah.
And so this is reminding me that we're in relationship with everything. Just like we saw the video of the woman saying, the spirit of coffee is saying that you are abusing me.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, the spirit of coffee. Oh, yes.
Everything.
Coffee has an energy.
Mhm.
Spirit is just energy. So what energy is informing this conflict? And so that made me think of the question that you posed that you got from Michael Bernard Beckwith of like, what is wanting to emerge here? I think that's a great question to ask the spirit behind the conflict. What is wanting to emerge here from within myself? I'm also thinking about the times that we've had rupture and repair moments and how the both of us always came to those moments with the understanding that these moments would happen
Mm.
and we understand why they are here and
Mhm.
it's for our growth and evolution and we have committed to doing that together. And so I'm thinking, okay, so now I need to translate that to everything else that can be expanded into other areas of life, not just in relationship with you or with my husband or just in relationship with another person. How can we expand that to relationship with nature, like anything and everything? I'm thinking about Shaman Durek and how in his lineage of shamanism, he talks about how it's about relationship. And I just love how things are just kind of coming full circle within my brain. I'm here for it.
Yeah. When you were talking, I was thinking about the spirit of conflict, right? And then you mentioned, which my mind automatically went to, like, we're all one. We're all interconnected as human beings, as an earth ecosystem. Everything here is interconnected. It has its origins from the same source. Even if I'm in conflict or I'm experiencing the spirit of conflict with another person who doesn't feel like they're hearing me or seeing me or whatever, I know that the spirit that is in me that is causing this for my growth and my expansion is also in them. One of the practices I think that can assist us as we are approaching, first of all, we can shift our mindset to think about conflict as collaboration instead of, conflict, because conflict has this negative connotation, right? Of like, ah. So if we then shift our mindset to seeing conflict as a collaboration, and I'm collaborating with spirit for my growth, for my expansion, then I'm not speaking to the person. It's not two, people in a meat suit like going at it. It's actually spirit wanting to do. That sounded bad. Yeah, so if we pull back, like, there's this exercise, the third space, where we can, if we lean forward, we're in our mind, right? And our mind is in our body, but our mind is separate, right? And then when we come back a little bit, we're in our bodies and we are in this 3D physical beingness. And then if we step out one more time, it's like in my mind, it's kind of like seeing your soul kind of like out your body. And now you're in oneness. You're in the interconnectedness of all things. And so if I experience conflict, I can step into this third space to experience what is spirit seeking to bring forth through this experience.
Hmm.
And now I'm no longer frustrated or angry or like focusing negative attention towards an individual. I'm
Hmm.
seeing from like this grander perspective about what is seeking to emerge. What is the transformation that needs to happen in me? What am I witnessing in this other individual in front of me that gives me an opportunity to see myself in them, right?
Hmm.
To see myself more clearly. So, yeah, it feels like when I think about it that way, it feels like such a powerful place to be. It
For
does feel
sure.
like a blessing to be in that situation when we're not looking at it from the physical realm.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing that's coming up is that what you get from that situation might be different from what the other person gets and
Yes.
needs from that situation. I can
Yes.
remember times we would feel like, "Oh, we should have, like, the same outcome or the same, aha," and no, 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 no. That's not the case because you're on your own personal journey. I'm on my own personal journey. Expand that out into anything else that you can be in relationship with, right?
Yes.
And so it's really about being in alignment with your journey
Yes.
and allowing
Ooh.
the other person to have their own experience at their own time.
Mm. Ooh, okay, so have you Yeah, yes, yes. You read my mind because I was definitely thinking about that, like, we're on parallel journeys, but they're not gonna look the same. That's the beauty of diversity, right? Like, the us being on a similar journey doesn't mean the same journey. It
Mhm,
means similar, and it means that we're eventually all going back to the same place, the same origin,
mhm,
going right back into our source, but some of us are here to do one thing and some of us are here to do another thing.
mhm,
And it's necessary. And the growth, you don't want to steal someone else's growth. That's another
mhm,
thing. I was thinking about a butterfly cocoon and how if you try to help a butterfly out before it's too soon, it's going to die. Like it's
mhm,
detrimental what is happening there. And how could you possibly know what is happening on the inside of that
mhm,
cocoon in order to know that it's time for that
mhm,
butterfly? So it's giving me a lot of, well, one, it's confirming a message that I got earlier today on a post that I posted about, hey, we have our own values, our own way of living, and we can make sure that we're living in alignment with these values, but I can't make you live the way that I feel I'm supposed to live. And I shouldn't,
mhm,
because that's
mhm,
supremacy. That's when I think that I'm the most important thing and the way I believe is the most important. And
mhm.
that is not honoring everyone's journey.
Right.
Yeah. So, whew,
Ooh,
that feels like that's a spirit message. Yes. Yeah.
ooh, that was good. Mm,
Mhm. Interesting. So I just picked up something told me to look at this card, and this was the one sitting on my desk right now.
mm,
And
mhm,
it's woven destiny.
mhm.
Unearth the threads that interlace destinies, connecting us all. So just this reminder that
Yeah.
we are interconnected. But just like when you are looming, you're creating a tapestry, they're gonna go different ways and they're gonna be different colors and different thicknesses and all of that other stuff. And it's all important. It's all necessary. And it's really just important for us to know we're connected and that allow
Mhm,
that to inform how we show up with one another.
mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And not that we're only connected to human beings, we're connected to
All things.
all things,
All things.
all things.
Like everything has a spirit. Water is
Yes.
a spirit. The
Mhm,
tree or the plant that grew the coffee bean it is all connected to us and it all can
mhm,
inform us and we inform it. And it's
mhm,
this beautiful cycle of growth as we are in alignment with who we say we want to be and how we want to honor the things around us. We inform that with our spirit. We
mhm,
inspire with how we show up. And so it's so important right now for us to really not just say what we want to be and but be who we say we want to be. Make sure that
mhm.
we're in alignment with in integrity with it. And that's how we make change in the world.
Yeah,
Mm.
step by step. And even like in our personal lives, I'm thinking about like how overwhelming it can be to think of like, okay, so now I have to be conscious of being in relationship with all things. How in the world do I do that?
Mhm.
And I think that it comes from having an intention
And a
and
practice.
starting yeah, an intention and a practice of waking up in the morning. This is for me. And yours will look different for, how you operate in life, but connecting with self, connecting with source first, and then having an intention to I'm thinking of like, okay, I'm going to intend to go outside today because I
Mhm.
can be in the house a lot because I'm a stay-at-home mom, okay? And I'm a homebody too. Go outside, allow the sun to shine, and it's cold, by the way. Shine on my face and touch a tree and touch the grass and talk to my water before I drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connect with people.
Mm.
As you were saying that, like, oh, you got to be conscious about it. I was thinking, like, as you are, it's like learning, like a baby learning its body and how to use it, right? Once we practice it enough, it
It
becomes our
becomes
second nature. And here's the thing, it's our first nature. It's who we really are.
yes.
So it's really about us unlearning
Mhm.
the crap that
Mhm.
says, "Oh, you're separate. Oh, because that's different," or because it is who we really are to be connected with all things. And so it's just about remembering and learning to practice that moment by moment.
For
Mhm.
sure.
You want to pull some cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. I want you to go first.
Say that again?
I want you to go first.
Okay. Is there a message for the collective, our tribe today? Sarah, what would you like to share? Hmm.
Mhm.
Earth. Learning how to be human in the world, but not of it.
Wow, what?
Oh, I didn't show it to you.
Got to be kidding me. I don't know why I'm surprised. Oh, no.
Is there
Yes.
anything else? What else would you like to share about our journey? I don't think it's in this deck. I hear the song Back to Love, Back to Reality. Huh.
Mm,
Something about
mm,
coming back home, maybe?
mm, mm.
Alchemy?
Wow. Wow. Hilarious. Oh, wow. Mhm.
We came here
Yes.
to experience alchemy.
Yes.
Like,
Led into gold. Led into gold.
yes,
Yeah.
the internal led into gold.
Mhm. Mhm.
And self sabotage came out. So I really believe that what was shared about contrast or conflict being a gift is how we prevent this from happening,
Mhm.
how we prevent self sabotage from happening.
Mm.
From this day forward, practice seeing every moment as a gift,
Mhm.
even when it doesn't feel good, because that's what you came here for.
Yeah.
You came here for this. You came here to be able to work your magic in a dense environment. Back home, it was easy. You came here for the journey, to play the game of forgetting and still and yet remembering.
Yeah.
So forgive yourself
Mhm.
for anything that you're holding on to because it's keeping you wrapped and tied. I hear it's keeping you from your magic, from the wizard within. I never say wizard, so that was
I know,
interesting.
I was like, "Where did the wizard within come from?" That's not her language.
Because you are capable of creating miracles on this
Mm.
planet. Maybe you've forgotten um or given up the hope in miracles or the belief in miracles, but they happen. A miracle is a shift from the perspective of fear to love. And so that miracles happen more often than not. And love is the key to your alchemy. Love is the key to your alchemy.
Mm,
I think that's it.
wow, I love that. I love how spirit always brings it all together.
Mhm.
And I love how you connected, you know, it is self-sabotage to not keep going just because you've hit some resistance. It is self-sabotage because you came here to experience the resistance so that you could achieve the goal of coming home to yourself, coming back to yourself
Mhm.
and seeing yourself and knowing yourself. And that I love how you said love is how you alchemize, right? How
Mhm.
you take the seemingly dense object, lead, and you turn it into this valuable, shining material of gold. And that even that shift, that small shift of seeing the resistance as a blessing is a miracle, in that
Mhm.
you will see a miracle. And so
Mhm.
even in the world right now, it feels like we don't need a miracle, right? Shift your perspective from fear to love. Doesn't
Mhm.
mean don't be aware. It means know that every conflict, every situation, every resistance that you encounter is designed to help you grow. And when we're not looking, we're looking externally, we're looking from that person to person space and not from the out here in the oneness space, we will miss our opportunity to grow and we will prolong the conflict, which doesn't need
Mhm.
to be that. It doesn't need to
Mhm.
be that. So I love, thank you, Spirit, for just bringing it all together there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I pulled Woven Destiny earlier, which talks about unearth the threads that interlace destinies connecting us all. And then again, this right at the top of the deck is harmonious threads. Seek inner harmony for peace and alignment on your path. So as you're walking the path, it's going to be difficult. It's going to provide resistance to you, but know that you get to bring your inner harmony, which is from that space of knowing like, oh, this is for me to grow, this is for me to expand. And and in that, you will see possibilities. Um, Spirit, is there another healing word that you would like to give to your people? All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you. You have the ability to affect your own destiny.
Mhm. Yes.
Again, bringing that safety, bringing in that root chakra, bring energy, like ground yourself. Know that you have what it takes. You have everything that you need. Success isn't what you have; it is what you do with what you have.
Mhm. Mhm.
So again, remembering that Well, one, we have everything that we need. We have
Mhm.
everything that we need and the power to transform lead into gold. But it's what we do with that power. Are we going to use that power in a focused way? Are we going to use that power in a way that is not seeing all the possibilities in front of us? The last one is carry the torch for others to see, wake up the world. I don't even
Beautiful.
have to say anything about these. I'm just like, yeah, this is what we're here to do. Make sure that we understand our oneness. The other day, so back in 2020, I came up with a title for myself, oneness practitioner. I don't know where it came from. Came out of nowhere. And I was just like, I like that. I'm gonna use that. And and it was like this interesting way in introducing myself that allowed me to explain what I stood for, which is understanding that the interconnectedness of our being means that we can only reach our highest potential together when we work
Mhm.
together in collaboration with spirit. And so, weaving that back into like my purpose, I think spirit has been kind of telling me, hey, don't lose that. Don't lose that oneness practitioner piece. But anyway, so we're seeking harmony. We're knowing that we have everything that we need to fulfill our destiny, our purpose, just like the alchemist was there to find himself and find his power. We have everything that we need. And then this is the like icing on the cake because we don't have to do anything to help people along their journey. We're just inspiration as we're living ours.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Takes the pressure off.
It does. It does. Well, in a way, it takes the pressure off to like help them see, but I really think that it is reflects a greater responsibility for me to be in alignment with who I say I am and who I want to be. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
I love it.
Me too.
The
Well.
unearthed card, it keeps coming out at
Mhm,
me. It's like if something is earthed, that means it's in the ground and it's hidden, like you can't
mhm,
see it. And so it says to unearth the threads.
mhm.
So, and then that made me think about the last card. Like you have to allow yourself to be visible, to be seen, so that what was the unearthed card about? Unearth the thread so that you can connect somebody
Oh,
else to their destiny, to their on their along their journey. Is
yeah.
that
Yeah, it says unearth the threads that interlace destinies connecting us all.
yeah, yeah.
What was the first card that you pulled? 'Cause was
Earth.
Earth. Yes, that's what I thought you were talking about at first. Learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Yeah.
Mhm,
And that's the way, is like knowing that we're interconnected and remembering that. And
mhm,
that way, the world that we live in is the one that sees the interconnectedness, even when we're witnessing ourselves in situations, in relationships, in community with others.
mhm.
I was just wondering, are we feeling complete or is there like a final thing that feels like it's to be communicated?
I feel pretty complete. I just want people to feel encouraged during this time. I want people to feel hopeful. I want people to remember their innate power that isn't power over something or somebody, but their personal power, their sacred power, where they can move out of victim mindset, can move out of hopelessness or helplessness. I'm seeing a card in my mind. That's by the way, that's why I remember being in meditation and seeing this keyhole and not really understanding why I saw the keyhole and so today when during the reading it was like love is the key. I was like, love is the key to everything. And it sounds so cliche, but it's so true.
Yeah.
It's our truest essence. And so in a time of Anytime that you feel chaotic or anxious or fearful, find little ways to send love to yourself, just small ways
Mm,
as like the starting point.
yeah. So love is this really interesting word because I do believe that love is at its purest form is unconditional.
Mhm,
And that's what love is supposed to mean. But actually, love has meant a lot of different things. And so we don't always practice love in a way that says there's nothing that you have to do for this.
mhm,
How can we practice for ourselves that type of love? Like, there's nothing you have to do, Pamela, for me to appreciate you and see you and want the best for you and no need to change you, just allow you to be and grow and for me to watch your expansion happen naturally. Like, how often do we give that type of love to ourselves? And I think
mhm,
if we're fair, not often.
mhm, mhm,
um and so if we can't give that type of love to ourselves, we can't give it to another.
mhm,
So practicing ways to love yourself unconditionally will create the practice for unconditional love that will ripple out into the world.
mhm,
And so at first I was like, yeah, well, we love ourselves, but we got to love others. But I do think that it's like, how do we love and appreciate and know ourselves? And how does that practice of doing that no matter what, how does that create a ripple effect in how we even see other people? You
mhm.
can't love yourself unconditionally and not love another
Yeah,
unconditionally.
yeah,
And so, yeah, love is the key. Love is the key.
it
And
is.
love is an action too. And so how do we what action can we show to ourselves? What can we do to love ourselves in a more unconditional way?
Mhm. I love that. And this time in my priestess training, so I'm going through priestess training through the priestess presence, which is also through the lineage of 13 Moon Mystery School. And we're in the Great Mother section. And I have two cards out here on my altar called the Divine Mother, Nurturing Compassion and Grace. And then the Great Mother is here through the Oracle deck from the school. But the one of the things that the Great Mother says is, "There's nothing that you can do to make me love you. There's nothing you can do to make me not love you. I simply love you." And so, if we can just take a moment and just give ourselves a hug with our eyes closed and imagining your Divine Mother within, behind you, holding her arms around you as well, whispering in your ear, "There's nothing that you can do to make me love you. There's nothing you can do to make me not love you. I simply love you." This is an action of self love. Yeah, yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
Thank you for sharing that. That was beautiful.
You're welcome. Anything you have that you want to share?
I think I think I'm gonna just allow us to kind of rest in that.
Well, we love you to
We
our
love you.
community and tribe.
Yes, we hope that you will check us out um, in all the places that we exist. You can find that in our channel. And we hope that you will come back again to share sacred space with us to grow and for us to experience life in a way that is absolutely beautiful and difficult, but rewarding.
Ashe.
Ashley, love you.
Love you too.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and become a part of our growing community. Until next time.